Finn was 2, right around Christmas time. He was starting to get some pain in his legs. He would walk very stilted-like. So we took him to the pediatrician, and the doctor kind of said, you know what, it sounds like he has some kind of virus he's just getting over, because the fever would come and go. And this happened for quite a while. Went through December and January, and finally in February he started getting a little teeny, little black eye under one eye. So he ended up sending us over to get a CT scan, and immediately I got a call from the physician. Finn has a tumor, and I immediately I lost it. I lost control. We composed ourselves, got over to the office, and he said, yeah, he has a little tumor on his cheekbone. It turned out that he had something called neuroblastoma. During this time, it was just a complete blur. It was a whirlwind. We didn't go to work. We didn't sleep. We stayed all night at the hospital. We had friends and family calling constantly to find out what was wrong. He ended up having, I think, a total of 8 chemotherapies, had probably 4 surgeries, numerous blood transfusions. All told, he was in the hospital for, in and out of the hospital in therapy for about 1.5 years. Radiation treatment for 2 solid weeks, stem cell transplants. After the radiation, we did something called immunotherapy. It's a very interesting therapy, and actually it was very new when Finn was diagnosed. And it turns out that Finn was the first person to actually complete the therapy at the university hospitals. After each therapy, after each chemo, we would do tests to see if there was still cancer around his body, and after the radiation, before immunotherapy, there was still something there that the pathologist couldn't identify. So it was assumed that it was cancer, and then after his immunotherapy, that was gone. So he was considered in remission. Most people, myself included, thought that when you are diagnosed with cancer, you're treated with chemo. If you survive that, then you're done. You're cancer-free and you go about the rest of your life.
I think people have a magical thought that cancer is diagnosed and then the goal is to cure, and if we cure, it's over, and that's about as far from the truth as possible. It comes with a lifetime of possible problems beyond it. Cancer never ends. It enters your life and it stays around forever. And I wish I could tell you exactly the list of things that could happen, but the truth is, if I were to write you a list of the things that could occur based on your therapy, it would be so long that this video would make you sit and listen to me for a couple of hours. If you were to ask patients, particular pediatric patients that have entered their teen, young adult, those years, they are actually telling us that it is those years that are harder on them than the years of treatment themselves.
Because we hear them, report back that they struggle with school. There are not a lot of services for kids and families after cancer care is over.
And that's what Red Shamrock wants to bring about to the public, is that once you're done with your protocol, you're not necessarily done being treated for cancer.
Like, what can we give them to make it easier? Because we know that it's hard to go into the classroom, and to not have anything would be even worse.
So the primary focus of the Red Shamrock Foundation is to raise awareness for what kids face after they're done with their cancer protocol and have survived cancer.
People seem to come together and collaborate during those intense years of treatment. It seems as though that is where people want to shovel their funds and send their money. But beyond that, there's a lifetime of issues and things to follow up on that Red Shamrock is highlighting and acknowledging as important.
So many years ago, I had a friend whose son was diagnosed with cancer, and me at the time being a musician, we did a benefit concert for him, and we raised money to help, facilitate the cost of the cancer, or fighting the cancer, I should say. And sure enough, the cancer went into remission, and we thought everything was good. And we had attended one of the Red Shamrock events, and there we found out that the long-term effect that kids have with cancer, with just fighting and beating cancer. And I called him back up a couple days later after that event and found out, sure enough, man, he was having a hard time. His son was, they had to do a lot of bone marrow transplants and so forth, and his joints were hurting all the time for the cancer he had, and I'm just grateful because that was 5 years since he had beat cancer, and I didn't know that was going on, and because of the Red Shamrock, I just was more educated.
Whether that's assisting families as they go through cancer, the Red Shamrock Foundation raises funds to use to support pediatric cancer survivorship. We keep our focus local as on the state level instead of national, so any donation that we get through the Red Shamrock Foundation stays in your own community. We are a 100% volunteer organization, so no one gets any salaries. Every penny goes towards the mission of the Red Shamrock Foundation.